Yo, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, coming at you with another album review. And today we're checking out The Chisel with their album Retaliation. And for those who don't know, The Chisel are from London, UK. They are a punk band, and some people might describe them as a oi punk band, very reminiscent of like early 80s, uh, I guess British punk, which I think kind of like describes them pretty well. They've been on the hot come up for the past couple of years, playing both UK and the States, back and forth, big festivals, tours. Um, I know they are related to bands like Big Cheese and Chubby and the Gang, which I still haven't checked out. Chubby and the Gang, checked out Big Cheese, pretty interesting bands and everything. Now, I want to go into a deep dive of this album, Retaliation, and come along with me for this fun little review. Starting this album off, we have the song Unlawful Execution. It starts out very light and hollow with the intro and everything, but the first thing I notice is that the vocalist, his vocals are really hard to hear. But as the song progresses along, I hear that and feel that they're channeling that British 60s punk, and it sounds pretty good. The drums sound really great, fast and powerful playing from the guitar, but it's just really hard for me to hear the vocalist and really soak in the song.
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you and punctures.
Retaliation. The tempo and the beat is really catchy on here, more of a pop sound to it. Bass is very thick, you can really feel it on this track. It's a mix of like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, I feel. And it sounds like an old recording and everything, but I think that's what they were going for. So overall, it's a pretty okay song. See Me. Fast and intense punk. That's what you're getting on this track, baby. The gang vocals are a bit hard to hear. Possibly the vocals aren't the best on the recording or what they were going for, but when maybe you see them live, they might be better. This is a catchier song compared to the previous songs. When it's just the instruments playing, it sounds really, really good without the vocals. So with that being said, I want to play a little clip of just what this song and their sound is like for you. Come See Me. So do I. The one thing I noticed here, the vocals sound much better. The song structure is much simpler. The drums and guitar are pulled back and not playing as hard. More of a rock punk vibe to it than anything. But noticeably, the vocals sound really good here. They can be really heard, so it really helps elevate the song. Common as Muck. Feels like you kind of heard this song before with their previous songs. Like there's a little bit of familiarity here, a bit of repetition. The vocals again are turned down a bit. Overall, the mixing on this album, I'm having a real love-hate with it and everything. But the slow drum buildup in the middle of the song, pretty nice. And then there's like a burst of chaotic ruckus that you hear on this track. That it's pretty messy, but kind of gives it a nice, fun vibe to it. Surprisingly, Nation's Pride, fast punk song. That's what you're getting here. Drums are tight, guitars are very scratchy, vocals better hearing everything. Bass though, a little hard to hear, but it's still a pretty fun track. Not the only one. This is more of like a slow down rock anthem than it feels than anything, with some really good vocals. Like they sound way better here than they have in the previous songs in any way. It's a very top-notch song, I think. Very tight. And they sound like they're having a lot of fun on this track. It's got a lot of groove to it and everything, with some pop sensibility to it and everything, especially with the drums and everything. The gang vocals, again, they kind of need to be turned up a bit, I think. Hit Life Syndrome. Ooh, the tom drums at the very beginning of this song, they sound wonderful here. And he sounds really pissed in full body here. Vocals, they slam in here, yeah, for sure. Guitars, again, very tight with their sound and tuning and everything. They sound mean and pissed on this song, like they're out on a mission, like they're out here to really prove a point. He has a very simple, like, catchy vibe to his vocals, but overall, like, I really enjoy this song and everything. It gives me vibes of like when you're at a hardcore show and like everyone wants to pile on to get to the mic. I feel like this is that song and everything. So with that being said, here's a little clip of it. Yeah, tooth and nail. Interesting guitar tuning on this track. More of like a high-pitched sound and everything. Drums have a bit of like a whimsical, loose vibe to it and everything. Vocals, pretty balanced and everything. It's a fine song, nothing too flashy, just kind of like, boom, it's there. Rocket. Fuck. The drum rhythm on this song, it's so good, especially in the opening and everything. And also they have some like fun, chuggy guitars in here. His vocals are very on beat with this track. It's just boom, boom, boom in the pocket all around. Punk with some like new age garage rock sound to it. Very catchy, very surprising. You gotta check it out. Boom, here it is. Very unique. Sit and Say Nothing. Very simple song structure. The drum pattern, kind of just like a 1-2-3 beat, 1-2-3 beat, nothing too flashy. Gang vocals sound much better here. Overall, I couldn't really form an opinion about this song before it ended. It just was kind of like there. Force fed. We got some raw fucking energy here for sure. Like the vocalist, he sounds very like ferocious and vicious here. Like he's hungry. And the drums, fast, tight. Guitar seem a bit lacking though. Slower than the rest of the vibes. Like everything else is shooting at all cylinders. The guitars seem to be catching up, it feels like. The drums are working their ass off on this track. So boom, kudos. What was mine? The drums here, not too bad and everything. I like the pattern of the drums at the beginning. Very Ramones in essence with the sound and everything. Has a bit of a larger than life sound to it. Is that what they're going for? Like a grand sound. There's a bit of like sadness that lingers on this song, but it does feel like the song goes on for a bit too long, and so it drags it down a bit. So I think if they like snipped it up, cut it shorter, might have been a better track. Will I Ever See You Again? The first thing I noticed here, they started with some like harmonica on this track. I wanted to be surprised, but honestly, not too surprised by that. A bit of a somber send-off of the album and everything. Very echoey and a bit like janky on the guitars, I would say, as the song plays out. Has some nice soft vocals and everything that can be heard, and overall just kind of comes and goes as the end of the song, end of the album and everything. So that is my thoughts and views on all the tracks here for Retaliation from the Chisel. Overall, I think it's a good, fun punk album and everything. I don't come much from the punk side of the world and whatnot, and I'm trying to get more involved in it and try to understand it more. But from a outside reviewing perspective, without any of my personal feelings from it, I feel like this album had a bit of hiccups along the way. To be like, it could have been a better version of itself. And I think two of the biggest things, I guess it's all one big problem, is like the mixing and mastering of the album, because vocals, sometimes the bass, sometimes the drums, they're hard to hear, or they get really buried in the mix. So it's like you have to really focus. Now, I don't know if that is a genre or I don't say aesthetic, but an artistic choice to make it sound that rough and raw. And maybe it sounds better live, but on a record and everything, it kind of threw things off a bit because it was hard to hear, like the vocals, the gang vocals. Some tracks mixed really well, some not so much. So I would say overall the mixing was the biggest problem for me on this album. And then the instruments itself, the drums, very loose, very simple when they could be heard, very nice and everything. But then again, if they weren't heard, it's kind of hard to judge them. Guitars for the most part throughout the album are pretty standard and pretty like well heard, and good punk style guitars and everything. Bass in and out, couldn't hear it, could hear it sometimes, very very up and down. Overall, the flow, the songs and everything are pretty good. It has some dynamic playing, different variety styles with like using the harmonica, gang vocals, doing some softer songs, bringing in like some garage rock influence, and doing like a very good homage to old school punk and everything. So I think there's a lot of interesting potential here for the Chisel. I just think they're still a relatively new band. A lot of people love them, as some people I think will call them they're a band's band. Um, People who aren't in bands like myself and whatnot might not really get it or really support it, but like other bands really like fuck with this band and everything. But yeah, I still think that they can pull off some other stuff if they had better production, and maybe if they cut a few tracks or made them shorter, because it is a long track list, 14 songs, even though it's only 30 minutes. But overall, I still enjoy this album a lot. Just looking forward to more stuff from them in the future and see what they can do. So with that being said, I think this album, Retaliation from the Chisel, is a nice, solid to soft 7 out of 10. Yeah, so thanks on coming by. Links down below for the Chisel and everything. Support your local scene and your scene abroad over in the UK. I am Matt from Diazable. Thanks for coming on by. I'm trying to be a little bit more flowy and less stiff. It's really hard to get the groove of these things, but practice makes perfect. Thanks for coming on by. Leave a comment below. Tell me what I should review next. Thanks for coming on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.